Look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch the video, okay? Just be patient and let it through. I just want y'all to just hear it, okay? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna react to it. I'm gonna break it down after.
I lost the guy that I loved and cared about to red pill content. Before he started watching this content, he was a sweet, nice man who treated me well and was charismatic, funny. And the moment he started watching this content, he completely changed. He started calling women bitches, whores, skanks. He became very, very angry almost all the time. And then eventually he ended things with me because he thought I was using him for money. Now, granted, there was one time where I did make a joke about how I wanted an old guy to take care of me, and I quickly regretted it and said I was sorry. But I still cared about him. I would drive 30 minutes every day to see him. Like, it wasn't just about the money. Because he's watching all this content, he thinks that all these women are trying to use him and all that stuff. And so he had a loving girl that cared about him and loved him and, like, would stick by his side through anything. And then he eventually said this to me, and this was the final straw. Now, when I first started talking to him, not that it mattered, but he was over 270 pounds when I started talking to him. I did not care about his size. He then lost weight and then started fat shaming everyone around him. And today, actually, he said this to me. He called me a broke skank and then said that I would ease back on the food. Your stomach's getting a little big. And I've never, my whole life, had a man speak to me like that. And here I was the week before going out and I was gonna go buy him a present for his birthday. And for him to turn around and call the girl that cared about him and loved him a skank and fat, when he's like one of the only guys that I've been with. In the beginning, it was totally opposite. He would compliment me, tell me how pretty I was, and laugh and make jokes, and like, just this content, it just ruined him. And then I went on his page before we unfollowed each other, and I saw he was reposting, like, Andrew Tate and, like, David Goggins, and, like almost all of his reposts were that. And then that's how I found out that he was in this red pill rabbit hole, and now I connected the dots.
So, in the video, she talks a lot about how he was a good guy, complimenting her job, pointing out he was like 270 in weight, and then content, consumption, Andrew Tate, and disrespect, right? Alright. He woke up. A lot of people look at the situation and be like, oh, what happened? Why are men leaning so much into these creators like Andrew Tate or all these different people that's macho and this, that, and third? You know what's happening? It's not that you didn't have a good relationship. I'm not speaking on that. I'm speaking on the fact that society has lied to young men over and over and over. I want you guys to think about it. He was 270. He was overweight when he first met the girl. She clearly mentioned that he was in it, you know, money. And she mentioned a sly comment. See, a lot of guys get in these relationships and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to act. But they just accept the things that come with it because they're with the girl. And the thing is when he's watching this red pill content that you guys are saying, oh, he lost himself and he did this, there was a message that was sold to a lot of guys that people don't understand for red pill. I'll say this. For me, I was sold the dream that, hey, you should want the white picket fence. You should want to be married. You should want to be this, that, and third. But the real dream was understanding that the life that you think that you want is that fantasy world. That's not for men. That was the vision that was sold to us from TV shows, movies, love, all these different things. We were curating the aspect of saying, hey, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead, and I want you to be like, hey, you gotta go and buy the girl flowers. You gotta do all the good gestures. You gotta say this, you gotta say this. You gotta make sure that when you hear certain things, block ears, don't say this, don't say this, you have to please. She's probably not even saying all the things that were going down in her relationships because at the end of the day, she just wants to feel good inside. She wants to feel people to have sympathy for her. But if he started to say, yeah, my girl just made this comment about leaving him, getting, wanting an older gentleman, taking care of me. Now I'm the bad guy because I got a whole fit. You see what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying that I feel like, yeah, you got your feelings, go ahead. But your boyfriend, your ex, didn't get lost to red pill. Because I really want you guys to understand that red pill is just truth. That's all it is. People think all of a sudden you start hearing the truth and you start certain things, this, that, and third happens, and all of a sudden, oh, you're just a bad guy, and this, that, and third. No, Andrew Tate's saying so much real stuff. And then guys are just saying, oh my gosh, I never thought that he can speak something like that. I never thought that, wait, we can say stuff? We can say that? they're talking in this rhetoric. And the thing is, it's just the truth is like breaking every thought pattern that has ever happened. It's like, why? We start questioning these things. So everybody's like, oh my gosh, red pill is so bad. Women are saying red pill is so bad. But we have a generation that's going on, and these girls are just, they want the red pill guys. You think the top 1% are not in the, man, if you met one of those dudes, you think they're gonna accept the certain things that you'll probably pull with an average dude? No. They've seen too much. They've been around too much. And that's the concept that the world doesn't understand, because the majority of the world wants to live in this bubble that's okay. But all of a sudden, once you start poking holes in that bubble starts to small. It starts smaller, shrinking. But everybody wants to blame the guy that decided to say, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. The reason why he probably left was he recognized that what he was probably in this relationship for is no longer serving him, because the person that she met him with as is no longer that person. Is no longer the person that's okay with being overweight. And most guys always, bro, if you're the guy, you're not calling people fat, overweight, you're not doing your job. I'm not saying you like, realistically, get in the gym. As a guy, I shouldn't look at you and talking to another guy and being like, hey, your weight is okay. No, it's not. But that's what guys do. So all of a sudden, it's a big issue. But I'm not over here trying to cape for anybody. All I'm trying to say is, you guys over here like to portray these guys that watch red pill content. Yes. Do you have to have wisdom when you're watching that stuff? Yes. But it's also discerning what information you're going to take and pull out of it. But at the end of it, it is all just truth, breaking the mold of this picture that was built to a lot of guys that growing up through all these shows and movies. And once we realize that is not the trope that you're really living in, why should I have to follow that plan? But everybody want to say I'm the bad guy. Oh, they're bad guys. There's no bad guys in here. You guys just don't want to hear the truth because it naturally urges you up. But believe it or not, class is closed.